shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station. Sign in and start streaming today.
Metallica, the San Francisco Symphony, two dynamic forces together again for one electrifying concert performance. S&M 2.
Thursday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
To understand this election, you must understand Pennsylvania.
No one did anything until President Trump.
With revealing conversations with voters.
I've seen a lot of nastiness.
Will the Keystone State predict again where this election is headed?
The working man is getting nothing.
I'm Robert Costa. Join us for a Washington Week special report.
Friday night at 7:30 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
We are taking back our country, a battle for the soul of America.
As America faces an historic choice, the election year tradition critics have called a fair and humanizing look at both candidates.
Monday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
An historic election.
This is the most important election in our lifetime. I feel so powerful. I'll walk into that audience.
A test for democracy.
The White House has really been transformed.
At a time like this,
a lot of enthusiasm.
A trusted voice.
A moment that's unlike any other.
Election 2020, a PBS NewsHour special.
Tuesday night at 6 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Legacy Village Salt River is proud to support Arizona PBS. Opening in early fall with a new location in North Scottsdale, just off the 101 and Via de Ventura. Independent living, assisted living, and memory care. More info and tours at legacyvillagesaltriver.com or 480-527-2000.
The campaign trail heats up in Arizona as President Trump and Kamala Harris make a final push to swing voters in the battleground state.
Plus, a new way to help patients suffering from sickle cell disease.
And later this half hour, we break down what you should look for when finding a good coach for your kids.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Sean Rice.
And I'm Milan Andrade. Thank you for joining us. Arizona's 11 electoral college votes are up for grabs, and the presidential candidate who claims victory here could see our votes put them over the top and win the election. So just how important is Arizona? Cronkite News reporter Taylor Tassler-Oatley has been following both campaigns as they make their final stops in Arizona today.
President Donald Trump and Vice Presidential nominee Kamala Harris both made multiple campaign stops in Arizona today, less than a week before Election Day. Arizona is increasingly becoming a hotspot on the campaign trail. This is Harris's second visit in a month and Trump's seventh visit this year. Arizona has emerged as a battleground state in the 2020 presidential election. This makes the Grand Canyon state a hotspot for political campaigning. According to Wallet Hub, Arizona now ranks at number 5 for the state with the most powerful voters. The ranking took into account win probabilities, ranking swing states higher. Both President Trump and Kamala Harris made multiple campaign stops here today in hopes to sway undecided voters.
Here in Arizona, 1 in 7 households is having a difficult time paying rent or were unable to pay rent last month. Here in Arizona, 1 in 4 businesses has gone out of business. And on the one hand, you have Joe Biden, who says, you want to talk to me about how the economy is doing? Well, then you need to tell me, how are working people doing? How are working families doing?
Joe Biden is currently leading in the polls by 3 points here in Arizona, according to poll aggregator 538.com.
When we win, you win, Arizona wins, Nevada wins, and America wins.
If Biden were to win Arizona, it may complicate things for Trump. According to CNN political analyst Harry Enton, even if Biden underperforms in the Great Lakes states but still wins Arizona, Trump will then need to win 2 of the Great Lakes states to win the election. Another deciding factor, the Hispanic vote. Hispanics are expected to make up 20% of Arizona's electorate. Biden has been underperforming among this group compared to Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. In the newsroom, Taylor Tassarotli, Cronkite News.
As Election Day nears, there's talk about what would happen if problems arise inside or outside polling places on November 3rd. And election officials across Arizona aren't taking any chances. The Secretary of State's office published guidance for counties if problems do arise. State officials recommend poll workers prepare to handle situations from volunteers refusing to follow COVID-19 guidelines to groups that plan to act as observers. Poll workers are also being encouraged to use de-escalation tactics like nonverbal techniques, including speaking calmly and refraining from mirroring defensive gestures. And when it comes to the law in Arizona, only those casting ballots are allowed to be within 75 feet of the entrance at a polling place.
Since the death of George Floyd, Black Lives Matter protesters and Trump supporters have been lining the streets of Gilbert and Warner. The two groups show up every Thursday to counter-protest each other, but it's hard to say how much change both groups are actually achieving. In the midst of our country's civil unrest, protests like these are occurring every Thursday in Gilbert. For months, these protests have remained peaceful, but as more people begin to show up, the tension increases. On August 20th, there was the first and last occurrence of violence. Gilbert Police Chief Michael Solberg shares what happened.
And within the first couple of minutes, the first assaults occurred, where we had people come from the north side down to the south side and confrontations and several fights. And it took us about 5 or 6 minutes to get there and get everyone separated out. From that point forward, we have had a physical presence as well as the barricades.
Shawnee Kingsley has attended about 6 protests since the beginning. She says she comes out to support President Trump.
I want to be heard. I want to be heard, and I want to support police, and I want to support America. I want to support Trump. I want to support Republicans. I want to support positivity and love and unity of America.
Despite wanting to promote peace and unity, both groups that attend these protests have completely different views. Belly, who supports the Black Lives Matter movement, wants to shed light on the importance of the social injustices occurring in our country.
Our message is to let everybody know that 1, Black lives will always matter. 2, brown lives will always matter. No human is illegal. Science is real. We need to reform the police. And we can achieve all this through nonviolent means. But the only way they can get anywhere is if we get the recognition that we deserve. Because all you see on the news is the riots and the looting, because it's propaganda. Take a look at what democracy, and this is really what America looks like. Every single beautiful soul behind me, this is what America looks like. And we will continue to be out here until we receive the justice that we seek.
There is no expected end date for these protests, but according to the Gilbert Police Commander Joe Rodriguez, the turnout seems to be decreasing each week. According to Chief Solberg, each protest costs the department about $20,000 a week, which includes food and water for officers as well as personnel expenses. As long as protesters continue to show up to these events, so will Gilbert PD will also be in attendance.
A group of Tucson residents has begun an effort to recall Mayor Regina Romero. The group has listed several complaints on its website against the mayor, including her decision to remove police officers from election polls and her support for a citywide mask mandate. Romero has said she disagrees with the group's claims.
A lot of the stuff that I find complete government overreach, the destruction of businesses through the COVID lockdown measures, that, again, they have no constitutional merit or basis to them, and the mask mandates are just a small outcropping of that. For me, that's where the angst started. And then coming out of that, a lot of people reached out to me and said, hey, we need to recall her.
The group will have an uphill battle as they need to collect 24,700 valid signatures from registered voters by the end of February to go forward with the recall.
The mayor of Phoenix now has extra protection after one of the city's police officers reportedly threatened her. The office of Mayor Kate Gallegos says the officer made a credible threat to harm her, but there is still no word on the details, including how the threat was made. Gallego's office says the incident happened within the last 2 weeks. Police say a criminal and internal affairs investigation is now underway. They also say that for now, the officer in question has been assigned to home.
New tonight, the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine released a report that outlines a framework to improve health care for patients with sickle cell disease, a condition that disproportionately affects Blacks and Hispanics. Cronkite News reporter Harry Croton found out more from stakeholders about how this bodes for the disease, research, and treatment. Harry?
Sickle cell is the most common inherited blood disorder in the U.S., affecting some 100,000 people and occurring in 1 out of every 365 Black or African American births. But the country and the state of Arizona still have a long way to go to better understand the disease. The improvement process begins with several key factors. The exact number of those who suffer from sickle cell disease is unknown. To get a better handle of the numbers, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention began a data collection program back in 2015. But only 9 states are enrolled, and Arizona isn't one of them.
Sickle cell is really the first molecularly characterized disease that we know exactly what caused it and how it caused it. But especially until only last year, very few treatments were available.
The lack of specific U.S. data has made the research process difficult, and the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine's near 500-page report outlines a plan to address the issue by increasing funding, broadening research, and most importantly, lowering costs for treatment.
There are multiple potentially curative therapies that are in the pipeline, but they're highly expensive, and we need to understand how to pay for them so we don't get trapped in a situation which I would say is worse than not having a cure, and that is having a cure that no one can get.
Another focus laid out in the report is improving the availability of healthcare professionals like hematologists, particularly in rural areas and communities of color. Martha Liggett of the American Society of Hematology says with the help of grants, they'll be able to add more sickle cell disease research and treatment centers across the country.
We're working on more general distribution for hematologists and for other healthcare providers and nurses and PAs. I mean, we need a whole team of people that are educated about how to deliver care properly.
Some experts say the lack of research and data has left patients feeling neglected. But Brett Jawar says part of the solution is placing a greater emphasis on funding.
Despite the fact that the CDC has a lot of money, it's really in buckets that it needs to be spent for. So you can't take funding out of measles and put it into sickle cell disease. So it's very important for all of us as we push forward to make sure there's advocacy for funding.
With additional funding, providers, and research, the report estimates 9 million children with sickle cell disease traits could be saved by the year 2050. Brooke Cook of the Sickle Cell Foundation of Arizona says just increasing awareness of the disease is one of the biggest challenges here. The foundation hosts virtual sessions to keep patients and their families informed. With just 3 hospitals in the state that specialize in sickle cell disease research and treatment, the National Academy's plan could help on both fronts. In the broadcast center, Harry Croton, Cronkite News.
Coming up next on Cronkite News, as a second wave of coronavirus hits the country, health experts express their greatest concerns here in Arizona.
And we'll show you why the ASU men's basketball team is getting so much attention on social media.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Everyone has secrets. Are you protecting someone?
I have no choice.
You do have a choice. You're looking at him.
That's amazing. We could be standing on top of a T-Rex right now.
Women demanded new space and pushed the boundaries of what being a lady means.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station, sign in, and start streaming today.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
Last month, the COVID-19 positivity and hospitalization rates dropped in Arizona, but this month cases are continuing to climb as a second wave of coronavirus slams the state. And here are some fast facts. This week, health officials recorded over 1,000 tests with a 9% positivity rate. It's the highest positivity rate in over 2 months. And on Monday, hospitals in Arizona saw 861 COVID-19 inpatients. That's the most since the end of August. And it's significantly higher than it was on October 1st. Although these numbers are concerning, they remain lower than the highs set on July 13th during the first wave of coronavirus. Today, the Arizona Department of Health Services reported over 1,000 new positive cases, as well as 14 additional deaths. During a news briefing this morning, Josh LeBaire with the ASU Biodesign Institute expressed his greatest worry in the coming months. Take a listen.
What worries me is that although we're seeing a lot of these current new cases among younger people, though it's inevitable in my mind that these younger people might potentially transmit them to older people, and then that's going to shift the demographic to an older population that might end up in the hospital.
Dr. Kara Chris, the public health director, attributed this latest spike in COVID-19 cases to small household gatherings where people felt safe around one another.
Now for one of the top trending stories overnight, Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner was pulled in the top of the 8th inning due to a positive COVID test. Despite the positive test, Turner was seen celebrating the Dodgers' 3-1 victory over the Rays last night with his teammates on the field. The Dodgers beat the Rays 4-2 to steal their first World Series win since 1988. Many questions now surround the Dodgers, including why Turner was allowed to play. When did he pick up the virus? And when will the Dodgers be allowed to travel home, or will they have to quarantine in Arlington, Texas? The MLB hopes to have those answers and more within the next few days.
Arizona State men's basketball has high expectations after a busy offseason with popular recruitment class and the return of Remy Martin. With the nationwide attention on the court, Sun Devil social media has gained an increasing amount of recognition as well. Cronkite News reporter Reed Harmon has more on the social media team.
So is it the big name players on ASU's roster? Or could it be the flair of head coach Bobby Hurley? Whatever it might be, it's been working for the Sun Devils social media team.
We see the numbers and everything, and it's great to see, but we don't feel any sort of pressure to reach for those kind of numbers. We're going to keep doing what we're going to do. And if the numbers are there, that's great. But I think if we focus on creating the best content possible, I think that's all we can do.
In all of men's college hoops, Arizona State ranks in the top 10 in the country when it comes to social interactions. Let's break it down and head over to the West Coast, where they ranked number 1 in social interactions for the month of September.
With the addition of big-time players like 5-star recruit Josh Christopher, the numbers, even in the offseason, have climbed even higher.
I think if anything, that just kind of makes our jobs a little easier. I mean, with Josh, no matter what we post, we could post a picture of his elbow and everybody would love it. I'll be honest. So if anything, it makes it easier because like everybody's going to love what you do no matter what.
For the 3 major platforms of social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, ASU Hoops has gained its most traction through Instagram. In September, they had 82,000 of their 114,000 total interactions.
Young people are on Instagram. I know I use Instagram the most, and most of our recruits are there. And then the players use that the most. So the fact that that's what's most common of young people.
The Sun Devils are liked by many as a top 20 team in preseason projections. And if ASU is able to succeed on the court this season, that success will continue to be shared on their social media. Reed Harmon, Cronkite News.
Finally tonight, Toys R Us is bringing back an old favorite to help you find the perfect gift for your kids this year. The retailer unwrapped its 2020 holiday toy list on Tuesday. Toys R Us says they searched 2020's biggest toy trends and play patterns to come up with the list. It includes popular brands you would expect to see, such as Barbie, Hot Wheels, and Legos. There were also standouts like a toy of everyone's favorite fictional baby, Baby Yoda from Star Wars The Mandalorian. Customers can shop the full list online at toysrus.com/hot-toy-list.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.arizonapbs.org.
Coaches build great athletes and can also be a support system. So what should you look for in your child's coach? We break it down next.
Dr. Scott Brooks, I want you to break it down for us on what we should be looking for in coaches, especially for our kids. We both had coaches over the years, so we'll try not to infuse too much of our own mediocre athletic careers into this. But what's the biggest suggestion you have? Let's start with parents in terms of what they should look for with a coach for their kid.
So I think when you're starting off, you really are looking for someone that's going to treat your kid like you would treat your kid. You want someone that has...
Not like my father treated me.
Exactly. You got to be careful. You're right. It is thinking of what's the ideal. In many ways, the reason that parents start coaching is because they worry that their kid is not being treated fairly. So can you find someone who seems to have those kinds of values, right? That whether it is playing time, do they want to play everyone or not? How do they see this? Is it competitive? Is it recreational? So I think you want to start there. In the end, what I know through my research is how the coach sees your child, whether they see them as a star or not, is going to be reflected in how they play them. So it should all start with what you want your kid to receive in terms of a playing experience, and whether that matches up with how that coach sees your child.
So we really have to check ourselves first. Are we trying to get our kid in the NBA or on the professional tennis circuit or whatever? Or are we trying to give our kid a lifetime sport that they can engage in forever? So that's the first step. So what if your coach, you said this, if your coach is not playing your kid in whatever sport, should you as the parent, and let's say high school on down, should you as a parent engage? I was gonna say interfere, but that might bias your answer. Should you speak with the coach?
So I would tell you, yes, if that's what you feel you should do. The guidelines, though, are really to make sure that you've got a similar vocabulary. So you want to know, how does that coach see your child, really? Right? And you want as honest a conversation as possible, because if you understand that, then it should make sense how that coach is playing your child. A lot of times that is out of sync, and then parents still want the coach to play their child the way they want their child to be played. So if the coach doesn't see your child as a star player, they're not going to play them as a star player. There should be no surprise.
Okay, and your biggest thoughts, we are still in this pandemic, but your biggest thoughts in terms of what you should look for from a coach and for your kid in sports during a pandemic.
So during a pandemic, I think we need to really embrace the idea of sport being this way of kids getting outside, of having greater social interaction. So I want a coach who's creative in the way that they do practice. I want a coach who's going to make sure that the kids are out there having fun, even if it's competitive. It needs to be that mix of learning and fun, right? So especially in a time like this with social distancing and all that, we're losing social skills, and particularly for kids. I want sport to be a way that enhances or gets us back on the right road for social interaction.
So you really need a coach with some flexibility in this time. I mentioned our coaches as kids, and mine was very much old school. There would not be a change in the moment for social distancing. I am sure that the phrase would be, men don't need that. There would be that kind of. So I would suggest, as a non-coaching expert, find somebody that's not doing that, that's not engaging in that kind of way. What about, I mean, I mentioned in my coach of old, what about abusive language? And we even see this on the professional level. Coaches, well, that's part of their forte. How do you advise parents in terms of the language that a coach uses with their kids?
So I think that that's really context specific. So when I'm speaking, I'm primarily talking about recreation first and having fun. The minute you get into where games and winnings matter, then you're going to get an increase in intensity. So you need to give them a little bit more leeway. I would also suggest that there's an understanding of how the coach is using it. It's not abusive language just because it is cursing, right? Now, this is the way I understand it, thinking of culturally how this works. So kids can be brought into a culture of a team by the fact that there are words and phrases and inside secrets, right? There's an inside culture. And some coaches use that to good effect. I speak to you like young women, young men. That is the language of the world. That doesn't mean curse at them, but it means you may talk and broach subjects that are not talked about elsewhere, because as a coach, they're coming to you, they are here of their own volition, and hopefully, and therefore you have an opportunity to develop them further. So I would say be a student of how that coach is using any of their language, because they may not curse, it may be abusing and humiliating your child.
And I've got to say that there's language from my coaches that I remember that I still won't utilize, that I've never utilized in my life. But it was, as you suggested, it was the language of the culture in the moment, and it served to be motivational. As players, we would joke about who got those special words on that day from the coach as a sign of love. But I'm fully with you. I've coached a little bit back when my kids were younger, and I couldn't, in my wildest dreams, imagine using that kind of language. So let's get the profile then, and maybe a good way for you to think about this. Who's your favorite coach of all time across sports?
Wow. Yeah, no, you're asking the big question.
Name a couple.
John Thompson has always been a coach who comes to mind.
The great Georgetown basketball coach.
Absolutely.
Patrick Ewing, and Allen Iverson is his most famous students.
Absolutely. Vivian Stringer, it comes to mind. I'm going to be basketball kind of heavy. Bill Walsh.
And what do they do? Those two? What do you see in common from those two great coaches? Vivian Stringer, longtime coach at Rutgers, women's basketball coach. What do you see?
I see folks who were unapologetically who they were. They were authentic. So Vivian Stringer lived in a time where she could not compete high school wise as an athlete, and she kept pushing the needle. She didn't want to be a cheerleader, and she knew that she was a Black woman, and she knew the challenges there. So she goes through Cheney State. She knew what sport could do, and she was not afraid to recruit anyone and to talk to them about those challenges. Her husband was sick very early on, and you could just see how she embraced her team as a family. She was vulnerable, right? So these coaches love you hard, they push you hard, right? They're there for you forever. And that is that's really, for me, more important than anything else, is the coaches who love you. And as my old head, Claude Gross, says, I love you and there ain't nothing you could do about it.
Dr. Scott Brooks, thank you for breaking it down for us on thinking about coaching for your kid and otherwise.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
This hour of local news is made possible by contributions from the Friends of PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you. If you have comments about Arizona PBS News, please contact us at one of the addresses on your screen. Thank you. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Deanne Griebel, now with Moores & Cabot Investments, serving investors since 1890, proudly supports quality programming on 8 Arizona PBS, 480-725-9602.
A wildfire catastrophe engulfs Australia. It will be remembered as the Black Summer.
We decided to see what we could do, just anything we could to help the wildlife.
Ordinary people become heroes.
You'll be okay.
All new, tonight at 7 on Arizona PBS.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
I've known the family for years. I never, ever dreamt it would end like this.
Across the globe, islands are home to some of the most remarkable animals and extraordinary cultures on the planet.
I'm Scott Yu. Come with me to uncover how a country boy became the most influential composer of all time.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station. Sign in and start streaming today.
Metallica, the San Francisco Symphony, two dynamic forces together again for one electrifying concert performance. S&M 2.
Thursday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
Revealing conversations with voters.
I've seen a lot of nastiness.
Will Pennsylvania voters predict again where this election is headed?
The working man is getting nothing.
Join us for a Washington Week special report.
Friday night at 7:30 on Arizona PBS.
When you hear zombie, do you think of shambling, flesh-eating corpses? Or maybe violent, infected humans? I'm Dr. Emily Zarka, and I'm a monster expert. By diving into the historical creatures we fear, we can learn a lot about ourselves.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
We are taking back our country, battle for the soul of America.
As America faces an historic choice, the election year tradition critics have called a fair and humanizing look at both candidates.
Monday night at 8 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
The Palazzo, remaining safe and socially distant while open for tours, offering independent or assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and rehab, including activities, exercise, live music, even a pool and wine cellar. Redefining senior living, The Palazzo.
The general election is November 3rd. Still have your ballot by mail? Return ballots to any election drop box or voting location in your county. You don't have to stand in line to do it. Learn more at arizona.vote.
Good evening. I'm Judy Woodruff. On the NewsHour tonight, the election approaches. The stark divide and visions for America's future are on full display as the candidates continue their final sprint in critical swing states. Then, the information war. The heads of Google, Facebook,